Remember a couple of weeks ago when I talked about Spotify discovery mode? Yeah, so it's starting to kick in. That editorial playlists are losing their weight. Let me explain a little bit why. Streams from some of the major playlists are experiencing drops anywhere from 30 to 50%. And these particular types of playlists, these are the editorial playlists, right? So for indie artists, these are the types of playlists that everybody's trying to be like, you need to pitch the editorial, try to get on, I can get you onto a playlist, and even the algorithmic playlist. I'm going to show you proof from the discovery mode metrics about where the streams come from, and this is going to correlate to what this article says. As you can see, the streams now primarily come from radio and autoplay. And autoplay is essentially like when you type in one song to go listen to it specifically, and then it just fills in other songs after. This is how Spotify discovery mode is primarily working. This is how they're taking the things that are on discovery mode and then recommending them to people to get those streaming numbers up, because remember, they're taking a larger percentage of the royalty rate when things go through the discovery mode. And you can see that this is with 0% on the editorial playlist and only 1% on the algorithmic playlist. As you can see, the article confirms it here where it says it's called discovery mode, wherein labels and artists and teams can submit songs for an additional algorithm pushes in exchange for a lower royalty rate. Right? And so it says here, discovery mode songs only surface in radio or autoplay for listening sessions. This is true. I just showed you that. And the highlight in this article that I think is really something important to pay attention to is it says the way fans discovered music was radio back in the day, then Spotify editorial playlists, and there were a few years where music was discovered through TikTok. This is super important because it's showing a trend line. It's essentially saying that, yes, once upon a time, radio was the thing that you needed to focus on, right? And then that shifted and it turned into playlists. And then those playlists turned into editorial playlists. And then it started to become TikTok. So there's all of these cycles that happen. And now the editorial playlist is not the coveted thing. Is becoming less and less of a factor than it used to be. The new discovery mode feature has made it so that the radio and the autoplay feature is the place that you want to get. And again, you have to have 25,000 listeners to qualify for the discovery mode feature. So essentially they're saying it doesn't matter how you get onto the discovery mode, however you generate your streams in order to qualify for the 25. Once you get to the 25,000 mark in their designated time frame, the way to move your music is through discovery mode. The data backs this up, the data that I showed you, but then also just like the aggregate data, because Cardi B didn't have much radio support in the beginning in 2017 when Bodak Yellow blew up, but it blew up because it was on Rap Caviar, and so that is really what prompted the whole wave and movement into being like, oh, you don't need to be on radio. If you can get on an editorial playlist, you can blow from there. Now we are seeing the shift that says, oh, you don't need to be on an editorial playlist. If you can get to discovery mode, your music can blow from there. And there are multiple ways to get to discovery mode. I'm pretty much pointing this out just because I know there's probably a ton of courses and a bunch of people talking about like, oh, pay for this and pay for that, and we'll teach you this and we'll teach you that, and we can get you onto this playlist. A lot of that is not going to matter, as you saw the percentages for where the streams come from now. Again, I'm just one person. This is me looking at the data and having some of the information I wanted to show you. If you have any thoughts or anything about this, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your take.